I was broke. I graduated 6 months ago and have been job looking ever since. Between student debt and a layoff from my first temp job, I had two choices: move back home with my parents or find a place that will not ask too many questions about my salary. That's when I noticed her listing. Private room, quiet neighborhood, female owner, no dogs, no smoking, and please be respectful. I texted her. She responded within 1 hour. Her name was Joanna. Mid-30s, quiet voice, refined, but not frigid. The type of lady who never had to use her voice to achieve what she desired. She greeted me at the door wearing a gray sweater and trousers, barefoot, and holding a mug of tea. "Is this okay?" she asked, nodding towards the home. It was better than okay, it was beautiful. Suburban, clean, warm, far above what I thought I could afford. I tried to be pleasant and added, "The rent is a little low." She smiled. "I simply don't want to live alone." She said it calmly, as if she were announcing the weather. That first night I was unable to sleep. Not because of the room. The bed was excellent, the sheets smelt of lavender. The window overlooked the trees. That was her. It was the way she stood in the kitchen when I walked by. Her eyes lingered on me for an extra second than was necessary. The way she posed questions like, "Do you enjoy it here?" However, her tone said, "Do you like me?" She wore a robe that night, nothing inappropriate. But I noticed the shadow in the hallway light and the glance she gave me as she returned to her room. I can't explain it, but it was the kind of glance you get in your stomach initially. On the second day, I discovered that her husband was a sailor, a merchant marine who would leave for 6 months at a time. "Oh," I said. She didn't elaborate, simply sipped her coffee and gazed out the window. That night, she placed a bottle of wine on the table between our rooms. There's no note, just two glasses, one half filled. I did not drink it, but I did stand at the doorway and stare at it for 10 minutes. By the end of the first week, I knew her schedule. She worked from home and wrote something. I never asked what. She hummed while she prepared. She always wore socks in the morning and barefoot at night, and she always prepared enough food for two. One night, I gave in. We sat, ate, and drank. I inquired about her husband. She answered, "He is a good man." But there was no warmth to it, like someone reciting a job title. Then she asked if I had a girlfriend. I lied and claimed I did. Her eyes did not match her smile. The stress increased, nor loud nor dramatic, simply present, in the way she leaned over my shoulder as I read. When we met paths in the hallway, she stood too near. Her hand momentarily touched mine, but it was not by coincidence. Then came the storm. Literally. The rain is hammering, there is no power, and the Wi-Fi is down. I lit several candles in the kitchen. She joined me. We sat on the floor munching cookies and joking about how calm the house was without any humming. Then she said it. "You know he won't be back for 6 months." I looked up. Her face was serene, but her voice flashed. I stood, excused myself, proceeded to my room, and closed the door. She did not knock, but I heard her stroll by. Slowly. I have not touched her. I have not crossed the line. But every night since I've lied in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering what she's thinking. More than that, I am thinking. Because of the truth, I can sense it too. 6 months is a long time. I have not touched her, but I am thinking about it. More than I should. Days have gone. We didn't say much after the storm, but we didn't avoid each other. It seemed stranger than quiet, like the silence between two people who had already crossed a mental boundary but were pretending not to. She wore headphones a lot now and played soft jazz in her kitchen. Sometimes I'd walk in and she wouldn't even look around. Other times she'd be waiting at the table with 2 mugs of coffee fully prepared. No words, just waiting. One night I arrived home late from a job interview across town. The home was dark with the exception of a flicker under her door. I went into the kitchen. There was food in the oven, covered and heated. There's a note beside it. "In case you feel hungry. Jay." I sat at the counter with the food in front of me but did not touch anything. She knew I was at home. She knew I had read it. Then her door opened. She stepped out in a long t-shirt and socks. There's nothing else. Hair is knotted up, no makeup. It's just her, simple, soft, real. "I couldn't sleep," she murmured as if it explained everything. She did not ask. She did not need to. She sat across from me, no plate. No food. Only her elbows were on the counter and her chin was in her hands. And those eyes. "They're watching me again. Is this okay?" she finally asked. I didn't understand what she meant. Sitting here. What about the food? Was she wearing that shirt? I just nodded. It was the safest option. However, I was not feeling well on the inside. Inside, I was already leaning in. She interrupted the silence. You remind me of him. I looked up. My hubby. When we first met, he looked at me the way you do today. I attempted to refute it. I tried to look aside. But she grinned, as if she saw right through me. And then she asked the one question I was unprepared for. Would it be wrong to kiss you? My heart has stopped. There it was. The question has been on both of our minds for some nights. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. She did not move. She did not force it. She was just watching me and waited. I stood up. Not because I wanted to run, but I was shaking. I need air. I mumbled. I stepped out. It was frigid. Still. This was the kind of night that held its breath. I sat on the front steps for a while, trying to convince myself that I had done the right thing. But what's the truth? I wanted to go back inside. I wanted to answer yes. I wanted to feel her hand reaching for mine. I wanted to stop pretending it wasn't occurring. When I eventually returned, her door was closed. The lights are off. My plate was still sitting there, untouched. So was I. The next morning, she pretended nothing occurred, as if the words did not lie between us. As if she hadn't just asked me to cross the line. She wore a robe. Hair is still moist. Coffee is ready. Then she said, he called last night. I froze. He'll be home sooner than expected. Something has changed. I didn't ask what. I just nodded. And my heart, it did something unusual. It sank, simultaneously tightened. Because I realized something in that moment. It wasn't only about her anymore. It was about me. Approximately how close I had come. About how easy it was to forget everything I believed in just by looking into someone's eyes. And there was a ticking clock. I should have left, but I did not. And what happened next, I'll remember forever. His voice. That is what I heard when I arrived home one evening. A man's voice. Deep, confident, coming from the kitchen. I froze in the hallway. He was back. I had not even seen her that morning. I departed early, hoping to avoid whatever this return would entail, but there he was. I moved silently, approaching the kitchen doorway, and peered inside. He was tall, tanned. Broad shoulders, buzzed hair, a short beard. He was dressed like he had just gotten off a ship. In faded pants and a navy jacket. One hand grips a beer bottle. The other was casually reclining on her back while she stirred something on the stove. She laughed at something he said. It sounded real, like the person she used to be. I went into my room. I closed the door. That night I overheard them through the wall. Muted, rhythmic, intimate. I stared at the ceiling. My throat is dry. My chest tightened. I did not sleep. I did not expect to. The following morning I packed. I did not leave a note. I did not say farewell. I simply placed the rent in an envelope on the table and went out with my duffel bag before morning. I had no desire to engage in a confrontation. There's no explanation. There was no dramatic moment at the door. She made her decision. And now I had to make my own. 2 weeks have gone. I slept on my friend's sofa. I ate gas station cuisine. Scrolled through job boards with a numb thumb and an even number of thoughts. I told myself that it was over. That it did not matter. She probably hadn't thought of me once. And then I received her text. I didn't expect it to feel this empty with him here. I stared at the message for several minutes. She then sent another. I miss how silent you were. How you made me feel seen. And then the third, he is departing again. Sunday, I didn't respond, not right away. But every word she sent opened something within me. I believed I was going to close. And the worst part, I wanted to go back. Not because it was correct, not that anything had changed, but I missed her. On Sunday night, I found myself parked down the street from my house. His automobile was gone. The porch light was off. I simply sat there grasping the wheel. Every imaginable future flashed in front of me. I could stroll back up those stairs. I could knock. I could pretend that the last 2 weeks did not occur. That nothing occurred. Or I could let go. My phone vibrated. Her name appeared on the screen. One word. Are you here? I gazed up at the house. And I swear I saw her silhouette in the window. I did not move. I did not respond to his text. I just sat there. My chest is thumping. My mind is spinning because I knew there was no going back. I put the car into motion and drove away. It's not because I didn't want her. However, sometimes wanting is not enough. What would you have done? Have you gone back, or did you go away permanently?